It doesn't feel like a sequel, it feels like an original film.
Well, it had a great trailer. In this video, I'm going to break down why 28 years later has left me cautiously optimistic for its sequel, The Bone Temple. But before we jump into it, here is a quick review of 28 years later, and this video will contain spoilers for the full movie. So 28 years later is a strange one for me. The first half of the movie is brilliant. The film puts you in the shoes of Spike as he ventures into the mainland for the very first time with his father to retrieve his first infected kill. And it's nerve-wracking, intense and scary, all rolled into one. Then in the second half of the movie, Spike ventures off on his own to try and find a doctor to cure his sick mother. And when he finds this doctor, it's not great news for him.
I've got some bad news. I'm Gene Parmesan. How you doing?
He got me again!
But I did overhear.
His mum has cancer and makes the decision with the doctor to end her life there. There are many different kinds of death, and some are better than others. It's tragic, it's powerful, and honestly, it should have ended there. That moment felt like a natural, emotional climax to this story. I think if they ended it there, it would have been one of the most beautiful, small-scale zombie movies ever. But they didn't end it there, did they?
No! God, please, no! No!
The movie continues, and while the infected remain a highlight, fast, relentless, and genuinely terrifying,
Get back to the trees.
that final scene pulls the rug out from underneath you, and oh boy, makes me worried for where this franchise is going. But before we go any further, if you are enjoying this video and you want to help a small channel grow, please check out some of the other videos that I have available and hit subscribe. One thing I love about this movie and the other movies in the franchise is that they treat the infected with respect. Every time they're on camera, they are always a threat. I believe they are the backbone of what makes this franchise so special.
You're trespassing on my property. You didn't my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Every encounter with them is edge of your seat tension. Their screams are feral and they're not just obstacles. And 28 years later, they're predators. They've evolved.
Infected. New zombie.
One standout moment is the Alpha infected and the scene with Spike and his dad trying to return across the causeway. Now we as the audience know the Alpha is coming. But in the moment, our two main characters are just having a stroll and a laugh as they return home, whilst the Alpha infected is gaining on them. Tension.
I want that sense of suffocating intensity.
And that dread, that feeling of unease builds beautifully. I loved that scene. They have to keep the infected scary because it's that fear that keeps the tension alive. And it's important that this series realises that.
You're running from the infected.
That fear makes the world feel dangerous. The characters' choices feel urgent and we sense their panic when things start to go wrong. And that choice way back in the original to make the infected run was genius because let's face it, if the infected don't run, the infected aren't as scary. And I think that's where so many zombie shows, games, movies go wrong. Think of The Walking Dead, Resident Evil, or even Last of Us. Often in those series, the zombies are background noise, a little bit of set dressing, but nothing to really worry about, let's be honest. They become cannon fodder, disposable, something to mow down between story beats, a cool wee action scene to break up the dialogue. But there's no stakes, the fear dies, which is why that final scene in 28 years later concerns me so much. You know what happens. Out of nowhere, we're reintroduced to a character from the very start of the movie, rocking this goofy tracksuit, terrible haircut, and when Spike hits a dead end, his gang take care of the infected for him. And oh boy, they take care of the infected, almost like they're nothing. If I remember right, laughing, joking, not breaking a sweat.
My name's Jimmy. Let's be pals.
Scottish rogues for Scottish actors. For the whole movie, the infected were undeniable threats. And now they're being treated like punchlines. It undercuts the tension. It mocks the danger. And it's exactly the kind of mistake that turns terrifying monsters into stormtroopers. And had the film ended with the death of Spike's mum, it would have left a lasting emotional impact. Instead, the ending they go with dilutes that and does suggest that we're in for a tonal shift. 28 days, weeks and years later, before that final scene, worked because the infected stayed terrifying. Always a threat, run before you fight. The moment they become less than that, this series risks losing its identity. And if the Bone Temple follows the tone of that final scene, treating the infected like minor inconveniences, it'll just become another forgettable zombie flick. Let's hope it's just that one scene. Let's hope it's in there just to confuse audiences, create discussion and build interest around the sequel. Please God, don't ruin the infected for me. And here's some of Danny Boyle's comments. Listen to this and see what you think.
There were these characters that appeared at the end of the film called The Jimmies. It returns you to the fact that this is a horror film, but not in the way you might be expecting. They go on to dominate the second film. I thought this is the most original piece of writing I've seen since Clockwork Orange.
Because from what he's just said there, makes me think, okay, this sequel is going to be very good or very shit. Like, it's going to go one way or the other. Fingers crossed, it's still good.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
So that is where I am at. 28 years later had great potential. For the most part, it delivered. Kinda. It's one of the only franchises in entertainment that keeps the zombies scary. And for me, that should never change. And if the Bone Temple makes that mistake, it could strip the franchise of everything that made it special. But now I want to know, what do you think? What did you think of the movie in general? What did you think about that final scene? And are you looking forward to 28 years later, The Bone Temple? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Scot of the Dead. Subscribe for dead honest takes like this every Monday, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!